Hey, old folks. Sometimes when you know something is really, really bad, and then it turns out to be worse. Disgraced former trooper Proctor, through the kind of retrials and some filings, we kind of have, we assumed, okay, he said some racist stuff, some misogynic, he's a really, really despicable guy. And then this happened in a hearing regarding access to Trooper Proctor's phone and the 14 years of his texts and pictures and everything. And, well, we already knew, or at least I knew, I've reported on it before, that he had nude pictures of women, plural, who unknowingly had their pictures in his phone. Okay. Is he a peeping Tom? I don't know. But on top of that, allegedly, he saved photos of victims of crimes. Now put these two together. Nude pictures of women who doesn't know they have their picture in his phone, and victims of crime, and what do you get? And now this. Folks, prepare.
Okay.
We missed.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, so we don't really have a position with respect to anything that's going on here.
Yeah.
We're here for two reasons. One, because again, we want to explain to the court that this protective order is ridiculous. He doesn't meet any of the conditions for which a protective order should issue. He's not a victim. He doesn't need protection. No one has threatened him. He says some vulgar, disgusting things that apparently repeatedly from 2007, 2014 to 2022, and shares it with his friends like it's please pass the butter. That's the tone of these conversations. And so the protective orders, for my purposes, are interfering with my client's ability to get a fair trial. Right now, my client, Mr. Johnson, is housed at the Norfolk County House of Correction. We moved mountains to get him access to what we call the Proctor materials. And right now, there's a 44,000 page report that.
Just on Trooper Proctor alone, there's a 44,000 page report with his texts, images, emails, and other things. That's a fucking lot. Okay, folks. And how much of it is Trooper Proctor being an asshole?
Comes from his phone, and there's additional information, close to 70,000 documents that he has to review. Right now, he gets 2 hours a week to review them. He's got a November trial date. It's not going to happen, Judge. It's taken me almost 7 months to get through the bulk of what was happening with Trooper Proctor. So I'm here again, Judge, saying that this man should not be treated any differently than any other witness in any other case. Why are we protecting him? Why is the Commonwealth protecting him? Why is anyone protecting him? The public should get to know exactly who he is and what he's done.
Completely agree. Former Trooper Proctor, in this case, the civil case and the other criminal cases, this specifically is a criminal case. He's just a witness. He's no longer a police officer. He was involved in the investigation against a client. He's just a witness. And a witness credibility can be questioned by the witness character. Why are the Commonwealth protecting him? Why are the courts seemingly protecting him? Well, the obvious answer is they want a conviction. The Commonwealth wants a conviction. Now, but why does the court? Why? Hand it the fuck over. You can seal it for the public to just hand it the fuck over, so that at least all the lawyers in all the cases where Trooper Proctor had his hand in the case knows what kind of absolute shit he is.
They do that with any witness. If it's a regular witness who appears before any judiciary body and they've done something wrong, they have criminal records that they plaster all over the front page of papers, nothing like that is private. So why are we considering this private in this case, Judge? And that's really the issue that I have. And I've also, we're not arguing today, Judge, but I've filed motions in both Mr. King and Mr. Johnson's case for materials regarding Mr. Proctor's hiring, Mr. Proctor's application, Mr. Proctor's, whoever reviewed that application, any of the exhibits to that application, and then any and all of his training, because I think his lawyer said it best. Our point is that he's biased. It's certainly against Black and brown individuals. I think Ms. Reed has a different issue, and I'm not disputing that he's biased against women as well. But in this case, Judge, our position is that it's not a separate entity. In other words, when we did the Ellis case, and when we knew the police officers at Ellis were committing crimes, in the beginning, when the first lawyers filed that motion for a new trial, we couldn't connect the crimes to the actual the conviction in Ellis. And it took us 18 years to be able to do that. We were able to finally connect it. This is completely different. This isn't like that. It's not a separate entity. It's who this man is. He's a racist, really a racist person from the beginning. Some of the things that he says, Judge, which I know you've heard through the grapevine, but some of the things that he says, like he'll say things like, "It's kill an N-word in Canton Day." Everybody get there. Like,
I get
this is
your
what we're
point.
dealing with, Judge.
I get
And
your
so
point.
what do we
Trooper Proctor, in his communications with friends and colleagues, said, "Killing in Canton Day. Everybody get theirs." Now, through others, what in courts will be referred to as N-word is the hard R version of the N-word. There's not many people, I hope at least. Now, let's put this into context. Well, while Trooper Proctor has done this, he has had good evaluations by his colleagues and boss. Family and friend have stood up like one beside him, all knowing what he says about Black people, women. And we know through the Karen Reed case that his colleagues definitely knew he was always searching for nudes of women. And in context, there is a saying over here in Europe, in Germany specifically. If you see how do I say this? If you see a fan of the Austrian painter sitting at a table having dinner, yeah, that's one. If he sits there and you have the district attorney, you have colleagues, you have friends, you have families, you have 11 family members, friends, and colleagues sitting at a table. Do you know what you have? You have 12 fans of Austrian painter. They knew this about him and did nothing. They did nothing because they are all the same. That is what you have in Canton. And that explains why so many officers have retired, went somewhere else, placed on desk duty, resigned. Because once Trooper Proctor's texts was revealed, they panicked. Because it's only a matter of time before we know who Trooper Proctor sent these racist remarks to. We will know what they will. We know what they replied with. Nobody seems to have replied with, "That's not okay." Again, 12 at the same table. That's the saying. If you see a schnazi at the table with 11 friends, then you have 12 schnazis at the table. Shout out to the Young Jerks for streaming that hearing. Thank you guys for listening in. And if you have questions, leave them in the commentary. If you want me to cover this more, just say so, and I will. You all have a good one, and I will see you in the next stream or video. Bye-bye.